stream where we are going to be talking your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm sorry for being late. I had to post on social media about me live streaming, so I'm sorry that I'm a bit late. I'm here now. We're right here in main focus, so we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. So I'm gonna get into your guys' comments and we're gonna go from there. So let's see what you guys are saying. You guys are counting down the stream. I'm sorry about you being sick, Alexander. I hope you feel better. What's up, Not? How you doing, man? I hope you're still here. I'm glad you guys are excited for the stream. I'm excited too. Last stream was amazing. You guys really showed up and showed out. I want to give a big thank you to everybody, supporting the channel. The growth has just been crazy lately. I've been growing fast overnight, and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has definitely been helping out with that growth. But I really do appreciate you guys really being supportive of the content and stuff. I'm working really hard to make sure I get as much out there to you guys as possible. I want to bring you my best. So again, thank you guys for showing up to the 3-year stream. That was amazing. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out on the videos and the content lately. But without further ado, I'm getting into your guys' comments. You guys are saying hello. I'm glad you're good, Nah. I hope you're doing good today. What's up, Anthony? What's up? How you doing, man? Anthony, Alexander. He's a big fan of yours. He's a big fan of yours. Freddie, what's up? Welcome. I saw the two episodes and they were amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed the episodes. I planned on like staying up Tuesday night. I was like, Tuesday night I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna try my best to, you know, wait till 3 o'clock when the episodes hit on Disney Plus for me. Because I live on the East Coast, so on the West Coast obviously they drop at 12. But here they drop at 3, and I'm sure if you guys live in different countries or, different parts of the states, they drop at different times for you as well. But I ended up going to sleep. I went to sleep and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll catch them in the morning. So my buddy Carson, he tells me like, hey, don't go on social media. Don't go on social media. Don't. They're dropping spoilers. Don't go. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go on social media. I'm not gonna go on anything. I'm just going to, when I wake up, just have a fresh thing. So I woke up, got ready, all that, took a shower, all that good stuff. I had my Spider-Man shirt on. I put a bowl of cereal, kind of like the old times, being a kid again, having that bowl of cereal for your Saturday morning cartoons. That's what I did, and I turned on the show, and immediately I got drawn in. You get to the story, you see the animation, you see the intro of the show, which the intro is so good. I don't care what nobody says. I like the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man intro. People are saying that it's corporate rap, but I'm like, have you guys ever been to New York? Do you guys not know that rap is a big cultural impact in New York? And that's why I feel like there was a mix of New York and rock music, which I think blended very well. And plus, you have the iconic 1960s Spider-Man theme song. I mean, to me, it meshed so well together. And just seeing all the bright and vibrant colors, like, you can complain about the animation all you want, but one thing you cannot complain about is this show and the color scheme. There's so much color within the show, and that's one of the things that really caught my eye at first glance is just how much vibrant color there is. And rightfully so. If you've read those old nostalgic comic books and stuff, then you know, if you read those old, 60s Ditko John Romita senior runs, then there's a lot of vibrant colors and stuff, in those comic runs. So to me, they got the vibe down right. I love the splits with the comic panels, when Peter's talking to Nico and stuff like that. Like, I just love stuff like that as a Spider-Man fan, but also as a comic book fan. It feels good to have a show that's like really based into that. And they do things differently in the show. We're going to get into that because I know you guys have a lot of things that theories that you guys may have. Let's see. It was 8 p.m. for you. Oh, you're in Australia. Wow, yeah. I know you had to wait a long time. I know you had to stay up for a while. Yeah. You said, Freddie, you said, I went to New York for the first time, and let me tell you, New York really likes rap. They do. I've been to New York. I have family in New York. So for me, going and just kind of seeing the experience of New York, there's rap music. Like, it's very, like, rap centric in New York, which, again, obviously, the birthplace of rap started in Florida, and then it made its way to New York. So New York is like the cornerstone of where we have the modern day hip hop and rap, and it's kind of where it all originated. So again, it just makes sense. It really does make sense. TMNT, the same thing. They're in New York. Rap music, TMNT, it just makes sense. It really does. It just makes sense. So I never really got the whole corporate rap thing that people are saying. I just think people are just saying anything just to say anything, in my honest opinion. What's up, Solomon? Welcome to the stream. I like parts when he changes into Spider-Man, like it's a split scene where he's changing costume. That's so cool. Yeah, like I said, it feels like a comic book come to life. Like you see one panel he's putting on his pants. The next panel he's like, turning upside down to turn right side up to get ready, and then there's another panel where he's getting hit by a taxi cab. Like those kind of things I like seeing cuz again, when you're a comic book reader, it adds more personality to the show. Cuz it could have been a whole one take thing, they could have done all that. But the fact that they really took time out of their day to animate each part of Peter's, day to day, being Spider-Man, to me, I really do appreciate that on another level. I love how the pizza shop said pizza time on the window. Yeah, there's so many amazing references in these first two episodes. And Jeff Tramiel, he did say in an interview, like, there's so many different references to many different Spider-Man media, comics, games, movies, TV shows. Like, it's all there. So I just think this show is going to be one big love letter, wrapped in a bow for Spider-Man fans. I really do feel like there's just so much that we've seen so far and so much we haven't seen that I think people are going to get really excited about. I know I got excited about a lot of things just based off the first two episodes. I think one of the big things that I love about the episodes is the pacing of these episodes are just so good. Like nothing feels like it's filler, nothing feels boring. It just feels like it's at the right time. Like it feels very calculated. It's like they know like exactly what moments to hit you. I love how they take moments to, show us a little backstory on the side characters like Lonnie Lincoln. The scene with Lonnie Lincoln, he's walking into his neighborhood and you see how the dynamic changes. It's not this bright, vibrant, colorful dynamic that you see with Peter and the other characters. When you get to his neighborhood, you see like things change, the vibe changes, and just the small instances that you see Lonnie goes through his day-to-day life. It really just adds more to his character. And I want to say something else. I appreciate this show for not doing the trope where because the main character likes has a crush on this character, and because that main character has that crush, they get mad and upset and wants to be the enemy or villainize the guy or the girl or whoever it is that's dating his crush. You know what I mean? They didn't do that in the show, which I really did appreciate. Peter going and saying like, okay, I want to find out about this guy. Like I want to know about him. I want to get to know him. I appreciate him for doing that, and I appreciate everybody involved with the show for writing it that way. Because we've seen too many times where the whole thing of the main character has a crush, the crush is with another guy or another girl, and the whole jealousy and back and forth fighting and bickering stuff. Like I've seen that too many times, so I'm glad this show veered away from that. We get a female version of the lizard. Yeah, we did. It's definitely a change in pace, which I'm welcome to. Carla Connors. That's really different. I like that they're doing little twists and spins on stories. Like you thought we were gonna see Kirk Connors, but no, we're seeing Carla Connors. So now we're gonna find out about her backstory. What's gonna make her turn into the lizard? Because she's definitely gonna turn into the lizard at some point. We just gonna figure out what the buildup is going to be. We also have the wizard as well. Bentley. I can't remember his full name. Bentley Whitman. That's his name. He's a Fantastic Four villain. Now, I have a theory. We know about the Future Foundation suit, quote unquote, the Oscorp suit. I have a theory that I think Bentley Whitman and Norma Osborn have something to do with the Fantastic Four. Maybe they got into a fight with the Fantastic Four at some point. Maybe Bentley Whitman takes materials from the Fantastic Four since he is a Fantastic Four villain. Maybe he takes materials from them and he creates this Spider-Man suit. Him and Norma Osborn create this Spider-Man suit. And they're presenting it to Peter as if it's this harmless offer. But then you find out, like, no, there's more history to this, which would be kind of a cool way to bring in the Fantastic Four, which will also be really cool because Fantastic Four is one of the first appearances. Spider-Man's first official comic had the Fantastic Four in it, and they fought a chameleon, which I think would be kind of cool. That would be a nice little tie back to that. So I would love to see something like that. But that's just my theory. I want to know what you guys think about that. I already subscribed to your channel, bro. Thank you, Roman. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I want to bring as much great content as I can. And like I said, there's so much more coming. I want to do live streams. I have some theory videos that I'm working on for the show as well. And just stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say. Ninja Turtles ate pizza in New York. Exactly. I really do think that in an alternate timeline, Spider-Man and the Ninja Turtles would have been friends. They definitely would have fought crime together. I ate Joe's Pizza, the place where they filmed Spider-Man 2 with Toby a long time ago. And let me tell you, it was amazing. The pizza is really good too. That is one place I've always wanted to go, but never got a chance to go to. So if I ever make a trip to New York again, I definitely want to go up there and see, what I can, what I can do up there. I would love to visit some Spider-Man locations up there and stuff. If you guys, I don't know, maybe that's a good idea. If you guys want me to do a vlog going to different Spider-Man movie locations and stuff, let me know. I would love to do something like that. What's up, Peyton? I love how they transition Peter to Lonnie. This show is doing things that will stand out as its own Spider-Man show that will be remembered for a long time. Exactly. Like they're doing so much different with this show. Like obviously Jeff Trammell, he's talked about like his influences, Spider-Man the animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man. He's talked about, those shows being a big influence to him. But you can definitely tell like he's putting his own spin on it. But you can see the little recipe of the storytelling elements that those shows have into this. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, like it really does. Like I really could sit down, and I probably will Saturday morning. I'll rewatch the episodes because I've seen the episodes I don't know how many times. This reminds me so much of X-Men '97. Like I was watching all the X-Men '97 episodes over and over and over again, but this is kind of doing the same thing for me. So I really appreciate it on that front. TMNT was amazing. I expect you to like 2012. That was my favorite. I love 2012. I love 2012 TMNT. Me and my cousin, we used to get on the phone all the time after the episodes went off on Nickelodeon, and we would just talk for hours about our theories of what's gonna happen next, what's gonna happen with Shredder, what's gonna happen with Splinter. Like, we were always like having those theories and stuff. So yeah. This show is going to be the best Spider-Man cartoon ever. I hope it does. I hope it does reign to that level. It's a little early right now, but I think with time, I think this show is going to become one of the best Spider-Man shows that we've had, and probably one of the best Spider-Man adaptations that we've had for some time. I really do feel it could get to that level. I just have that much faith. Like the pizza shop scene, that was awesome and heartfelt. I love that scene. And I see that scene show up so much on social media. And that's how you know you hit something with people. That scene to me is what the definition of Spider-Man is. That's what the character is. Spider-Man could have showed no mercy and said, "Yeah, lock this thief up. They stole money. Lock him up." But he didn't say that. He gave this, person who thief who stole, gave her some grace. She's going through a hard time. The prison system isn't going to help her. Just give her some grace. And the pizza owner on his part too, he gave her some grace. So you see those little plants that are those little seeds that are planted with Spider-Man and him having this like influence over the city. And we're going to see as far as how far that influence goes. Will people start to love Spider-Man? Will people start to hate Spider-Man? Will there be a split of people who love him and people who don't? Obviously in the comics and throughout different Spider-Man media, it's been kind of a half and half. Most of the time, it's kind of like, I like Spider-Man. But then you have a half that's like, I don't like Spider-Man. There's something up with Spider-Man. There's a ulterior motive. Think all these things, and that's kind of like related to real life. People feel that way. Impressions and stuff, and you have all these different things that people think people are, and you don't really realize like, no, it's not like that. Like they're going through something. Like legit, Peter trying to balance like another thing in the second episode. Peter trying to balance, being at Oscorp and being at the party with Nico, and trying to save the city from being burned down from butane, which if you saw the prequel comic, there's more context to it that Silvermane is involved with butane. Well, butane is involved with Silvermane, so we know there's more context to it, which I also appreciate the prequel comic for adding that little bit of information about certain things that happen. What did y'all think about Ultimate Spider-Man? I thought it was good. I thought Ultimate Spider-Man had some moments where I was like, you know what? That's kind of interesting in a different way. But I think Ultimate Spider-Man on its own, I think it's kind of I think they focus way too much on the other. Not saying that they shouldn't, but I think they focus way too much on just the other characters. I think they should have just focused on Peter. What this show does really well, better than Ultimate Spider-Man, in my honest opinion, is that there's a balance. We get a big focus on Peter, but then we have these moments where we focus on the other characters and stuff and learn a little bit about them. Like they don't really go out of their way to do these whole origin story type things. Like this feels like a very established universe, which I appreciate. I'm glad that they didn't have to go out of their way to do all that extra stuff. Yeah, they went deep. I like it. Yeah, I love that the show is hitting on certain aspects of Spider-Man, but also certain aspects of real life situations that happen. But yeah, I'm glad everybody's enjoying the show. And the spider that bit Peter was from a different universe, meaning it was supposed to bite that Peter. Yeah, that's another thing. And that's another great theory. Who do you guys think is going to get bit next? Because we do know that spider isn't dead. We know that spider ended up in someone else's backpack. And I've been trying to pause that part in the show to see if I could maybe get a glimpse of who maybe picked up that bag, but I just couldn't. So we'll find out. Maybe the spider, I would imagine the spider probably crawled out and, went in throughout different parts of the city and stuff, and it'll probably bite someone else. My theory is that would be a great way to bring Silk in. Silk, I feel like, isn't really shown much in Spider-Man media. Like, obviously, we're going to get her in Spider-Man 3 when that game comes out, but I think that would be a cool way to introduce Silk if they want to. I don't think they need to introduce Miles, even though I'm a Miles Morales lover. I think it would be a perfect time to introduce some other character other Spider-Man characters that we haven't seen yet. If they want to do a Miles Morales spin-off, I mean, I would be all for that in this style. I think that would be cool, but just as far as him showing up, I don't think they need to. I don't think that's necessary. This needs to be about Peter's story. I hope they give her the family side of the lizard. I think so. I think they will. But yeah, well, how did you guys feel about Doctor Strange? I thought Doctor Strange was really cool. The way he came in, and this universe, they don't have a Doctor Strange, apparently, at least not to our knowledge, because Peter was like, who's this weird wizard looking guy? So to me, that tells me that, yeah, this universe doesn't have a Doctor Strange, which would kind of make sense because if this is taking place in a sister adjacent MCU world, but it's not connected to the MCU, then obviously Doctor Strange around these events wouldn't be around. I would imagine he would still be a surgeon, so he probably isn't like Doctor Strange yet. But we'll probably see him become Doctor Strange in maybe another season or something. Do you guys think we'll get the classic red and blue suit in the finale? I think so. I really do think so. I think it'll happen. And we got Amadeus Cho meaning the Hulk might show up. Yeah, it's possible. And one of the questions that someone had asked me, do you think we could get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because you got Amadeus Cho, you have a couple of other characters from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, the Agents of Atlas, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of Atlas. So it could be possible. It could be possible that they might be setting that up. I hope that they don't use the Future Foundation suit for too long in the show because the classic suit we saw on the cover looks sick. I think that might be a 1 to 2 episode thing, and then Peter kind of realizes like, yeah, this Norman Osborn guy, like he's no good. I'm gonna make my own suit. So we might actually see a montage of Peter legit making his own suit, which would be great because again, you know, with Tom Holland, the problem with Tom Holland's Spider-Man is he was pretty much gifted the suit. We didn't really see him make the suit. So this time around, unless you count No Way Home, but besides the point, we're probably gonna see this Peter Parker create his own suit, sort of like he did with his homemade suit, but he's gonna make the classic suit. Cassidy Campbell, yeah, Cassidy Campbell. He's the coach, right? I believe he's the football coach, which he appeared in it was an NFL comic that they did in the 90s that had Spider-Man a part of it. And Cassidy Campbell, he gained his own powers. If I remember correctly in that comic, he gained his own powers and stuff. So that was cool that they even did like little Easter eggs like that in there. Like that stuff like you would really have to like go into that lore of the comics and stuff and like really see like, oh snap, like that's like they're going that far, like that's like wow. I want the suit to come sooner, but it would make sense for Peter's arc for the classic suit to be in the finale. Yeah, like I said, it might be a 1 to 2 episode thing, and then maybe we see him create the classic suit. You were in Chainsaw's React stream last night. Really? Really? Do you have a link to that stream? I'll check his stream out. So I heard Sony is making Agent Venom. What's up, Carter? How you doing? Agent Venom, it could be a new universe and not in the universe what they're doing. If they decide to go the Agent Venom route, if Sony wants to do that, then I could see them maybe doing it in a different universe or maybe just kind of doing it in an adjacent universe. I could see them doing maybe an adjacent universe, and who knows, maybe they cast their own Spider-Man. I don't know if they'll do that. Y'all remember who's the Superhero Squad show? What Superhero Squad show are you referring to? What's up, CH? After the spider bit Peter, it crawled onto someone else. Could it be Cindy? And is it possible of her showing up in season 1 finale post-credit scene? I think it could be Cindy. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm rooting for it to be Cindy because, like I said, we haven't really had Sydney Moon in any of the Spider-Man media that much. So, like I said, besides Spider-Man 3, which that's still a couple years away, but I think that would be a nice way to introduce her in here, and then who knows? Maybe she shows up in Beyond the Spider Verse whenever we get that. So maybe that could be the start to having these other characters. Because if this show is going in and showing you with Harry Osborn with Luna Snow, which Luna Snow she's starting to get her little boost with Marvel Rivals. If you guys have played Marvel Rivals, like she's starting to get her little era going. So, if this show is a way to bring a lot of lesser known heroes to the forefront, I think this is great for Marvel as a whole, but Marvel Animation, because now they have plenty of ideas to go off of. Who knows? They might do a Luna Snow show, animated show. I think that would be cool. I think Luna Snow is an interesting character. Like there's so much that this show could open up, and that's why I think it's really good too that this show is showing you like, yes, this is Peter, but Peter isn't living in this world alone. Like he's living with other characters, other heroes that we haven't gotten established to yet, that we probably will get established to at some point. So I hope it's Cindy. I'm betting that it's her, but we'll have to see. What's up, Dawson? Really loving how unique and fresh everything feels. It kind of reminds me of Rise of the TMNT and My Adventures with Superman, while still keeping this grounded. You know what? That's what this show reminded me so much of, and I love My Adventures with Superman, and I'm ready for season 3 of that show. I'm ready for that show to come back. But this show definitely screams My Adventures with Superman, the groundedness, and My Adventures with Superman. We got the first episode where Superman he's saving a dog out of a tree, or maybe it was a cat. I think it was a cat. And then we see Peter in the second episode when he's fighting Butane, like he's trying to save all the pets out of the pet store. And to me, that's just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I've never really seen something like that. So the fact that this show was taking advantage of just Peter's resourcefulness from the Silver Age comics days, like I love that they're taking that. We see all the different kind of web tricks and quirky little moves that he makes, throwing himself off the wall and stuff. So just great, man. I love the show. I really do. The show is already a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I figured. I figured this show would. Like I said, from the very beginning, I had a really good feeling about this show. Like, this show didn't feel like something that was thrown together. Now, a lot of people on the internet, they had their own opinions. They tried to make it seem like this show was just something that Disney just trying to capitalize off the Spider-Man name. That's what they wanted to sell you, the people who are already going against the show. But for me, I felt like, you're getting all these characters like Lonnie Lincoln and Nika Monaro and Amadeus Cho. You don't just introduce these characters just for no reason. There has to be a reasoning as to why you introduce these specific characters. There's a reason why you change a lot of the characters, how they look, how their stories go. And I just felt like this show was going to do that in such a way that we probably haven't seen before. And probably maybe won't see again. Who knows? It just depends. But and I felt that from the very beginning. So to see it getting a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and then, all the reviews and stuff, and seeing all the people, and it's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. All the people who are hating on this show from the very beginning, that now they say they like the show. And this is just a testament to, don't judge everything you see off a rip. Like, don't always judge a book by its cover, because you never know what surprises might be in store. And from the very beginning, I just wanted to give this show the chance to be able to become its own thing and try to understand the references and the characters and why and all of the stuff. Like, I wanted to give this show a chance. And it feels good to know that being someone who was able to give this show a chance, it just adds more to, how I feel. And like I said, it warms my heart to see this show being shared as much as it is. People sharing clips of the show, sharing things like You guys, a lot of you guys, when I shared the end credits yesterday, you guys were pointing out, "Yo, is that the 1981 Spider-Man theme?" And it really did sounded like that. So I would not be surprised throughout the music that they used little hints of that theme into the end credits. And that whole end credits song, it's so good. I stopped it, like I kind of regretted that I stopped it yesterday because listening to it today, I was like, I should have just put out the whole thing. But I put out the whole thing to get today. I'm sure you guys seen it, and it's just a really good end credits thing. The music is just really good. Shout out to Leo and Zach Barenberg. They've done so much music. I watched Cobra Kai, so if you guys know, they do a lot of the Cobra Kai soundtrack, and they're just really good. So I've always been a big fan of their composer work. So it was really awesome to hear that they were going to be a part of the show doing the music. So I know on the music side of things that this show was going to be good. Yeah, it's really cool. Dude really cares about his neighborhood and its people. Exactly, like he really does care. Like the fact that he stopped what he was doing at Oscorp to save people and make sure everybody was out of the building so that way nobody burned. That scene reminded me so much of Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire, where you see him going into the building and he's saving the child and all of that, and then we get the fight with Green Goblin. Like that scene reminded me so much of that scene in the movie. So you get moments like that where there's references from different movies and stuff. The scene where Spidey gave the woman a second chance reminds me of Insomniac Spidey interaction with Gloria in the first game. Yeah, shout out to Gloria. I wish she. I hate that she wasn't in Spider-Man 2 as much because I really did like her character, and I hope she comes back in Spider-Man 3 because I really like Gloria as a character. You could definitely tell like she's a character who's down on her luck, but she has a good heart, and I feel like with that thief, she has a good heart, but because she may have been going through a hard time, who knows? She might be working all late hours of the night trying to make ends meet, and it's just not enough. So she felt like the money that she saw was her opportunity to make her life better. And although it's wrong, like it's wrong to steal from people, it's wrong to rob people. But the fact that, again, you have a community, you have a neighborhood where Spider Man is saying, like, give her a second chance. You know, pizza owner, this is your choice. If you want to, further action with this, you can. But the fact that he talked to the pizza owner and the pizza owner had sympathy for her, you see the effect that he has on the neighborhood. You see that. And I love moments like that. Like, that's what, to me, that's what embodies what Spider Man is supposed to be. He's not supposed to be this dark, brooding character, all the time that you see in some adaptations. He's not supposed to be this jerk, character. You could say in the early comics, he was a bit of a jerk at some moments, very outstandish and stuff. And, that's a part of his history. But seeing Spider Man kind of grow into a much more modern audience where you see the classic moments, but you also see the modern moments as well. It just blends really well, and that's a really big aspect that I enjoy about this show. Yeah, he's a hero. I'm not gonna lie, I would have done the same thing. I'm quick to tell somebody lock this person up. Yeah, exactly like who knows if this had been any other hero that would have caught her. I don't think they would have gave her that grace. I think they would have said, lock her up, put her, throw the keys under the jail, all that stuff. Like, they probably wouldn't even handle it in the way that Peter did. But, again, because this is a Spider-Man and he's learning everything and he's trying his best to make the city better, it just feels good. Like, he has a lot of heart. And even before he became Spider-Man, when that symbiote alien came out of the portal, right? He grabbed a brick and threw it at the monster. He was trying to defend Nico, so you could already tell just from that moment alone that this is a different Peter Parker. Like he already has the heroism within him, even without the powers. So yeah, the moments we gotten in the first two episodes are so unique, and also give classic Spider-Man character. I'm curious for what the rest of the season has in store. Me too. I'm curious too. They sold me on these first two episodes, and now I'm even more curious about the episode titles. Like, I've been looking at the episode titles and thinking about, like, okay, what are these episode titles going to be about? And they put out a little teaser yesterday where you saw extra footage of Doc Ock, you saw some of Daredevil, and some other characters too. So I really do think that this series is gonna build up to something that a lot of us have been wanting to see in Tom Holland's trilogy, which, by the way, going even down to the flying. I love the flying scenes, just seeing him fly about the city, the camera angles, the way they turn the camera, and it makes you feel like you're flying with him at certain moments. Like, that stuff, people who have been following the Tom Holland, story in his trilogy, that's stuff that, those fans, and me included, have wanted to see. And just being able to see that, Marvel, they can do stuff like that. They can do those moments. Just gives me hope that hopefully they can do more things like that with Tom's new trilogy, which I hope they do. I hope they do take some inspiration from this iteration. They don't have to do a straight copy and paste, but take little inspirations from this show. This Venom looking villain that Doctor Strange was fighting, we could see it again. Yeah, I have a feeling we're definitely going to see it again. And if they wanted to, maybe this is kind of a way to kind of have Peter have its own symbiote arc in the show. I don't think we'll get it in this season, but maybe they'll do it maybe season 2 or 3. Because maybe season 3, because maybe that'll be the way to kind of make it more accurate. Because I don't know if Peter's going to grow up in the show. I hope he does. I would love to see an actual Spider-Man cartoon where we legit grow with Peter. Like, we see him in high school, then we see him in college, then we see him as an adult. I would love to see something like that, and I think that would just add so much more to seeing the development and growth of this character overall. What kind of Spider-Man is he going to be 5 years from now? What kind of Spider-Man is he going to be 10 years from now? So I would love to see that. I would love to see Peter grown up. I like the scene where Peter saves Nico without power. You don't need power to be a hero. Exactly, you don't. We're all heroes in our own matter. The fact that there may be an old lady that may need help crossing the street. The fact that you took time out of your day to help that lady cross the street so she didn't get hit, that's a hero in itself. When someone who may need help bringing boxes in, maybe they're moving, they need help bringing boxes in to load up on a truck. The fact that you took time out of your day to help that person load those boxes onto the truck so it would be easier and convenient for them, that's heroism. You don't need superpowers. And I love that that show brings that message too. Spider-Man's still in school. Yeah, he's still in school. And like I said, I hope we see him grow. I would love to see this Peter Parker grow over time. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely better than 2017 Spider-Man. Like I said, I watched an episode and it wasn't for me. It really wasn't for me. But yeah, it could be Miles, it could be Cindy, but like I said, I'm a Miles Morales fan, and I love Miles. But I would love to see like a completely different way that they go about it. Like Cindy Moon, like who would think that Cindy Moon would be bit next? Like people automatically think, oh, it's gonna be Miles, but then we get Cindy Moon. So who knows? I would love a twist like that. I don't know what you're saying. Halt. I don't know what you're saying there. This in Spider-Man is the real MCU, and this Spider-Man is the real MCU Spider-Man. Exactly. This is how Spider-Man in the MCU should have. Excuse me, I'm tongue tied. This is how Spider-Man in the MCU should have been from the jump. This is how he should have been. We should have seen him on this grounded, friendly neighborhood level where we see him interacting with people. We see him saving cats out of trees. We see all of that because that builds to the humility of Spider-Man, but also Peter Parker. And we just did not see those moments in those movies. And that's why I hope they do it differently with this new trilogy. Give him a second chance. I love the Silk Theory. I can't help but think if they include any other Spider people, it might overshadow this Peter's journey as Spider-Man. And that's true. That's a true statement too. Like that's the other thing. If they were to include a Silk, they would have to balance that even more alongside the other characters. And I don't know how they would do that, especially on a 30-minute time, a 30-minute timetable. So maybe this is just a story where maybe Peter's just the only Spider-Man. And then maybe towards the end of the show, if they want to have like maybe this same thing happen to maybe a Sydney Moon. Maybe they could tease a Sydney Moon series in the same style or anything like that. A Sydney Moon spinoff. That would be cool. This is not canon to the MCU. Exactly. It's not canon to the MCU. It takes little bits and references from the MCU, but this is its own thing. So again, that works really well with the show because it's not like a what if where everything feels so limited. You can't do certain things, you can't introduce certain characters because of the MCU of it all. You can really add all these different elements and characters and stuff to it. Why can we not add images we can only type? That's a good question. Maybe send that to YouTube. Maybe that could be a good suggestion of something that you could do down the road. I would love to, be able to show up images and stuff on stream. Because if you guys follow me on Twitter, I did like a whole thread of just breaking down the end credits concepts. I really love the concept art in the end credits. I'm glad they used it because that's one of the big things about me. I'm a sucker for art. I love seeing all the different behind the scenes concepts and ideas that people had. And you see the different looks of Peter Parker, like the different hairstyles. And I said on Twitter, I was like, I think it's the one on the bottom left. The one on the bottom left, well, there's two on the bottom left that I like. You have the one that's kind of like it feels like a very like traditional style hairstyle that looks very mature. And then you have one that's kind of like a spiky version of that same one, but I like that one too. So if they wanted to do the show, like I said, if they want to grow Peter up in the show, I think those two hairstyles down at the bottom, I think those would be perfect. And you see some designs for Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn was going to look a little bit different. He was going to have his comic accurate finger waves, and there were like other designs with him in like other different clothing. There was one that reminds me so much of Carlton from The Fresh Prince. If you guys know, you know what I'm talking about with the sweater wrapped around him. Like there's a design like that, and who knows? Maybe those are designs we might see. We might see these characters change over time. We may see their designs change over time. Like I said, I think that would be really cool, because that would, again, add more to the character development and seeing these characters just grow. Me too. I hope we get the red classic suit, blue suit in the last two episodes. I'm hoping. And to me, the way that they sectioned off the way they sectioned off the last two episodes to me tells me that that's gonna be like a two-parter. So you guys know how like with X-Men '97 we got like a two-parter thing going on or and stuff like that. I think that's what they're gonna do with the last two episodes, because the episode 9 is titled Hero or Menace. So to me, Hero or Menace is going to be that episode where people kind of question, is Spider-Man a hero or is he a menace? But also could be a reference to J. Jonah Jameson. So maybe we see J. Jonah Jameson show up. I mean, the Daily Bugle does exist in this universe. We saw at Lonnie Lincoln's house. I think his dad, he was reading the Daily Bugle. Um, you saw Peter with Harry with the classic Amazing Fantasy 15 cover that they did homage. So Daily Bugle's here. So who knows? We might see J. Jonah Jameson at some point. I think that the spider is going to be. I think that the spider is going to bite a female. Give us a real Spider Woman. I think Spider Woman would be dope. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Harley Quinn is not even anywhere near this universe. Like that's. It's not. Yeah, Harley Quinn is not canon to the DCU. That's DC Elseworlds. I bet in season two, Norma Osborn becomes the Green Goblin. I could see them teasing Green Goblin towards the end. Maybe that could be the end scene. He just descends into madness, and then we see him like descend into madness even more in season two, and then we get that Green Goblin fight maybe at the end of season three. I mean, not season three, but season two. I could really see them going maybe the Daredevil route. Maybe they want to do a slow burn with Norman. Maybe make him the final villain of the entire show. Because I mean, you built up, Norman Osborn to be his mentor, which to me, I find it kind of odd that Norman went to Peter's house. To me, that kind of implicates that he already knew that Peter was Spider-Man from the get-go, but he's playing it off like he doesn't know. And then episode two, we see, Peter does get caught. You know, he he does realize that he is Spider-Man. But I think what they're trying to do similar to what they did in the comics with Norma Osborn, like Green Goblin, kind of always being a thorn in Peter's side in certain comics, and then they did sort of a slow burn with the reveal, and then we find out that it is, Norma Osborn that is Green Goblin, and then maybe do something similar to how maybe he captures Peter, and he takes off his mask, and they do the reveal of Norma Osborn being Green Goblin. I could see them doing something like that. Maybe a different twist to it. I'm curious as to how the animators would test the animation when they give Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. Do you guys think he'll throw punches in the show? I think he will. I think he will. If we're seeing Spider-Man, in certain ways use certain objects, I think we could see Green Goblin throw punches and stuff and pumpkin bombs and all that stuff that he uses. I could definitely see them going that route. I mean, what do you think Spider-Man will throw punches? Because we haven't seen him throw punches yet. I think we will. I honestly think the show could go to that level where we see him punch Green Goblin, maybe out of rage and anger, but then maybe something happens. Maybe he gets a message from Aunt May, or he thinks about his friends, and maybe he kind of holds back. Like he probably gets to a point where he wants to take Green Goblin out, but maybe he realizes like, no, this isn't who I am. This isn't what I built myself to be. There's so many people who counting on me. They would be disappointed. So maybe that could be a arc in itself that they go through. What's your favorite Batman Beyond episode? My favorite is Shriek. I That's something I'll have to come back to answer that question. But I do. There are a couple episodes of Batman Beyond that stick out to me that I enjoy. But yeah, Batman Beyond is a great series too. At the end of this season, they might show a post-credit scene of Norman taking the Goblin Serum. I think so too. I think that might be what they do. Maybe Bentley Whitman. He's like, Bentley Whitman, I need the G Serum. And then they kind of end it off there. And then maybe throughout season 2, we see him descend into madness. And I really, honestly, I just have a feeling that they want to set up the Sinister Six. Like, I just, for some reason, have that feeling. And I think Norman Osborn being the main head guy basically putting up the Sinister Six. I think that would be a really welcoming twist, because I mean that's really something that, I mean, it's been done before, but also at the same time hasn't in just this manner. So if they want to go that route, I think it would be nice if they did. I think it would be cool. A Luna Stone animated show could be dope. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, she's becoming popular now with Marvel Rivals, and then people seeing her in this show, and they're like, "Wait a minute, they Luna Snow mentioned? Like, what are we doing here?" So yeah, I think it's possible. All Rise and TMNT was my favorite too. Is that your favorite show? I know a lot of people who love Rise and TMNT. I just haven't watched it yet. What if we get Flash Thompson in this universe, but instead of becoming Venom, the spider bites him and he becomes another Spider-Man? That would be really different. I mean, Flash Thompson does, he does have a admiration for Spider-Man. He's a big Spider-Man fan. So, I mean, it is possible. That would be kind of a different dynamic to see him like, "Oh snap, I'm legit Spider-Man. Not only am I a fan of Spider-Man, but I am a Spider-Man now." But that definitely seems like a what if scenario. So, I don't know if they're going to do that. Team in 2003 has the best artwork, so the best series. Yeah, I've seen Timothy a few times, in my opinion. I think Tombstone is going to play a big part in this show because of one of the TV spots. They showed him talking to a big guy. It was like going into a fight. Yeah, yeah, and the little classroom spot that they did with Lonnie, a guy with the beard, and he's like, "Where you gonna go now, superstar?" And he's like, you better leave my brother alone." So my guess is that guy, either he becomes Tombstone or Lonnie ends up becoming Tombstone because of his brother. I wonder if that guy is gonna do something to his brother, and that's what escalates Lonnie becoming Tombstone. That could be interesting. I could see that being a thing, but that also being a very justifiable reason because he's trying to protect his brother. But now all that has spiraled into him, plus what he goes through, I'm sure, in his neighborhood and other things that probably stress him out. I could probably see that being the I could see that being the tipping point for him becoming Tombstone. And I do hope in this show Peter gets the symbiote and turns mental. We could see that. We could see that. Like I said, there's so much this show could do that we just have not seen yet, and it's exciting to really theorize with you guys because you guys have a lot of theories. I have a lot of theories, and we don't really know where this show's gonna go because we haven't seen all the episodes. So it's great being able to theorize each week, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I don't know. Okay, you guys are still talking TMNT. Since the show will have 3 seasons, what storylines do you guys want to be adapted? I would love, I would love to see, and I don't know if they're gonna do it, but there's a comic in the Amazing Spider-Man, I think John Romita era, where there's a strike going on, and Spider-Man, he pretty much like is trying to get to the source of why people are striking. Why is this going on? Why is this happening? And then you find out it's because, I think it was the rent or something. The rent was going up in the neighborhood, and Spider-Man was trying to get to the bottom of it, and he pretty much was like, why are you going to raise the rent on the people that live here? Like, why do that? I would love to see something like that because that's something that a lot of people, especially in New York, they go through that a lot. And I think that would be a great time to kind of educate people on a certain thing like that. I know it's not an adaptation, but it's kind of a story that happens within the comics that really always stands out to me. I don't like the animation style, but that's fair. I know not everybody likes it. Everybody's gonna have a different taste and style, um, and that's fair. What's up? Turn the page. Where do you work? You're 95, Jace. Well, I work. I mean, I work, but like I said, I don't really like to display where I work. It's kind of a personal thing, but just so you know, I do work, and I work very hard. And sometimes I try to find the time to balance, like Spider-Man. I try to find the time to balance doing videos, other things in my life, but also trying to work at the same time. So I do as best as I can. I like the opening credits. That's my favorite, but I do like the ending credits. They're both good. They're both really good. But if I had to give an edge, it would probably be the ending credits, just because of the concept art, and it's just very visually pleasing to me. Like I said, shout out to Leo Romero. I would love to get Leo Romero on to do an interview and just kind of understand his process of creating the character designs and the artwork for the show. Like I would love to do an interview with him, which um, I won't say too much, but all I'm gonna say is stay tuned. You don't want to miss what's coming. That's all I'm gonna say. I won't say when it's coming. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but when it does happen, I'm just gonna let you guys know. You guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised, but I think you guys are also gonna enjoy it. And everybody, have you heard of the actor Jim Cummings podcast and YouTube? He brings on other voice actors and is in Tuned In. Yeah, I know Tuned In. That's from MeTV Tunes. Yeah, I know him. My favorite part of the first episode is the fight between Doctor Strange and the Venom creature. Yeah, that's a really good fight. A really good fight, and there were some things in there that I really haven't seen Doctor Strange do, at least not in the MCU. There's been a few things that he did that Marvel did, but I think the cloak, the when he turned invisible and did that role, I was like, that's new. I've never seen Doctor Strange do anything like that before. So I was like, I'm glad that this show is utilizing, like I said, the powers of these characters, and it just gets me even more excited for what they're gonna do with Daredevil, with his abilities. How far into his abilities are they gonna go? And I think they might actually do some things with Daredevil's abilities in the show that we haven't seen before. So I'm looking forward to seeing the other heroes in here too, what they have to offer. I think another cool detail is that after the intro, they do a homage to a Spider-Man comic for the rest of the season. Yeah, from what I've heard from people, each episode is going to have its own title card. So the first episode obviously was a homage to Amazing Fantasy. The next cover from episode 2 was a part of, I can't remember what comic it's from, but there is a comic book cover of Spider-Man and Peter. He's putting down his mask. You do see that, and he's on a building. So I can only imagine what the other covers are going to be references to. So that's another nice thing to look forward to. And I was hoping that they would lean into that with this show. That each episode would have its own title card that's unique to it, and I'm glad that they went down that route. To me, that just shows that they're adding so much more dedication into the product and not just making it another Spider-Man cartoon that they just want to put out. Like there's a lot of hard work and value that they're putting into it and a lot of thought. What are your top 5 Spider-Man movies? Okay, I'll give you a list. So Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire, number 1. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man No Way Home. And then Spider-Man 1. I think Spider-Man 1 is my favorite. So that's my top 5. I want to know your top 5s for Spider-Man movies? Is that your bedroom? Maybe, maybe. Are we gonna get the black suit Spider-Man? That would be so cool. I mean, there is a black suit Spider-Man. If you guys like remember from the concept art, like there's multiple suits that we're gonna see throughout the show. Probably not throughout the season, but probably throughout the show, because there's the dusk suit that we see, the all black suit, and you can actually see it a little bit in the actual intro. They have the pan of all the comic suits. There's even a shot at the first little panel there with Jack Kirby's design for Spider-Man, because Jack Kirby actually did a design for Spider-Man, and I wish I could show off that design. But just look up Jack Kirby Spider-Man early design, and you'll actually see what the design looks like. It's so weird. It's so weird looking. Like Spider-Man has like a ray gun or something like that. Like it's just so weird looking. But again, I love that the show is able to explore even little niche stuff like that that maybe people would have known or people may not have known. I didn't know about that until I did some research into the suit because I was like, that's not a suit I haven't seen before. And then, like I saw, I pulled it up, and Jack Kirby Spider-Man suit design was the first thing that came up, and yeah, that was an early concept. So yeah, what's up, Juan? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I want to know what you thought about the show. I'm looking forward to the conversation between Peter and Norman, asking him why he's doing what he's doing. Yeah, we'll definitely get there. I feel like episode 3 we're going to get him getting the Oscorp suit, quote unquote, Future Foundation suit, but Oscorp suit is what they're calling it in the show. Which, like I said, I think there's a bigger theory to that. So I think that he may say like, you don't have to hide what you're doing. You know you can trust me, right? And then maybe that's a little moment where we tease like Peter's kind of like, yeah, I trust you, Mr. Osborn. But then we see the sinister villainous side. Maybe he's giving a look, or maybe when Peter leaves out of the room, maybe he says something. And then that's when we get to, again, the slow burn of Norman Osborn maybe losing his mind throughout the series. Another interesting detail is that Uncle Ben died before Peter got bit, so I thought that was another interesting detail. Oh, that's a good thing that you brought that up. If you guys go back and rewatch the the conversation that Aunt May and Peter have in the car, when Peter mentions about Uncle Ben, her wedding ring actually sparkles. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but I caught that like almost immediately. And I was like, "Oh snap, like okay, so yeah, he's dead. Like he's already died." So that was kind of like a way to me to kind of show off like, yeah, Aunt May, she's still dealing with the grief of, Uncle Ben dying. Obviously Peter is, but I thought that was a really small little detail that I thought was really nice. Please give moments with Peter and Nico slowly becomes a couple. I want to see that too. I really want to see Peter and Nico become a couple. I already love their relationship. I love their friendship, their dynamic. I'm really rocking with it. And I could definitely see them being together. Like they just mesh really well together. Like if you guys ever had that friend or maybe that girl that you're friends with, and you and her mesh really well, like you've known each other your entire lives. Like that's the kind of vibe I got with Peter and Nico. But Tom needs more web swinging sequences and more fights with him throwing hands. I agree, he does. And I hope they do that in his next trilogy. This may be an obvious question, but once this show ends, what Spidey series do you think Marvel should do next? I'm tied between Spider-Man 98 and them doing the new Ultimate Spider-Man comic book. I think people definitely want to see a grown-up adult Peter Parker, So again, if this show doesn't, have Peter Parker growing up, which like I said, I think that would be awesome to see him, starting out in high school and then seeing him grow into his college years and then adult years. If they don't do that, then I definitely see Spider-Man 98 being a big possibility, especially with the popularity and the reception of X-Men 97. Like I really do feel like they might try to build a 90s Marvel animated universe. Who knows? Maybe they bring back 90s Iron Man. People love the 90s Iron Man cartoon, so maybe they bring that back. Maybe they bring back 90s Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four, they're coming in the MCU pretty soon. So I think it would be a nice opportunity for them to capitalize and maybe do, bring back the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon or maybe do another Fantastic Four cartoon. But if they don't bring back Spider Man 98, I think it would be great for them to do a grown up Peter Parker animated series. Because I think people want that. I think I would love to see that. Because maybe they could tackle into more adult, more mature themes. Not to say that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man doesn't, because I think it does. I think it does tie into a lot of adult themes in just a way that's not tame, but you kind of understand. Like, you understand certain things that are going on. So I feel like that's what they might do. But Spider Man 98 definitely feels like a possibility after this series. Love the MCU trilogy, but honestly would have loved to go back and see what could have been without those limitations from Sony. I agree. Sony limiting Spider Man so much has just been a big issue, in my honest opinion, throughout this trilogy. And I think without this whole thing with Sony, I think Marvel would have really went all in with Spider-Man. And I feel like this series was the MCU, was Marvel saying like, "Hey, we wanted to do Spider-Man like this. We wanted Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be like this." But I feel like with Sony being in ties, they just weren't given that full greenlit to do that. So that's why they probably decided we need to do our own series that's not in any way connected to the Sonyverse or anything that Sony has going on. We need to do our own thing. So that's why this show, I feel like they're giving us a lot of these things that they wanted to do. Hey, how do you get a hold of YouTube by email? I think you'll have to look it up. I know YouTube does have an email. So just look it up, YouTube email, and I'm sure it'll come up. Same, I like those details about the concept art. Makes everything look so unique. Like I said, yeah, Leo Romero, man, very talented. If you guys haven't, check out his Birds of Prey run. Uh, Talented, beautiful artwork. Like he just has a mix of that Ditko, John Romita Senior, just mix, but it feels modern at the same time. Like I don't know how he's able to do it. So again, I would love to interview him one day on the channel and just dive into that art development and stuff. Because like I said, I'm a sucker for art. I collect art books and all that. So I love learning about the process. Recently, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Spider-Verse are proof that Spidey only works best in animation due to bring his comic book upbringing. Uh, Due to bringing comic book stories to life without all those problems and limits that all the live action movies have. That's the thing. Spider-Man is a very agile character. He does all kinds of flips and turns and back flips and front flips and side flips and so much, right? And with CGI, like again, when you use CGI so much in films, it kind of takes away from what makes these characters who they are. And sometimes if you find somebody who's flexible enough, you got the stunt doubles, they do as much as they can. But you have to find someone who has that flexibility like Spider-Man does, where he can flip over and walk on his legs, you know, you know, upside down. Like you have to find someone who has that agility at least to them and that flexibility. When you don't have someone has that, you have to kind of lean into CGI doing all the different things. And like I said, if there's not enough time putting it into it, it ends up looking really weird and really wonky. And I agree. I do feel like with animation, a lot of the stories being told, you can do all this stuff. You can show him doing a lot of his classic moves and seeing him, flip off of walls and backflip off of buildings and stuff, you know, and make it look like fluent and clean. So that's a fair point. What's up, Alan? Greetings to you. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to y'all. You guys are amazing. I know you guys check out my videos. I check out the demographics and stuff, and I see that Mexico is definitely one of the places that watch my content. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for just supporting me and supporting the content over here. And I hope you guys can stick around because I have so much more to bring to you guys. Yeah, some of Spider-Man's best adaptations are animated. Yeah, even with X-Men, I think we can argue, I could argue that X-Men 97 alone tops everything that the live action X-Men films ever did. Why? Because the storytelling, they can take these adaptations and they can lean into it. They can lean into, your Apocalypse, your Mr. Sinister, with Spider-Man, you can lean into your Sandman and your Unicorn and your Speed Demon and Hydro Man. You can lean into all that. With live action, again, it's hard because with CGI, there's only so much you can do with that technology until it becomes sort of limited to your abilities of what you can make in your vision. I wonder at some point will Pearl get her water powers? I think so. I think she will. In this series, they tease her to be a 30-time swim champ. And I think she's swim captain of the swim team of the school, too. So I think if she hasn't already had her powers, I think we'll see her get her powers at some point. My top five Spider-Man movies are number five, Homecoming, number four, The Amazing Spider-Man, number two, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, number three, Spider-Man 2, number one, Spider-Man 1, and number one, No Way Home. That's a solid list. That's a really solid list. Yo, JaceTheDon, what was your last name? I can't really disclose that. But yeah, this solid list. What does menace mean? Menace basically means that you're up to no good. You're a troublemaker. And that's what Jay Johnson always calls Spider-Man. The Spidey menace. The menace to society. He calls him that because in J. Jonah Jameson's mind, he thinks that Spider-Man is up to no good, or he's doing it for his own selfish reasons. Because he's a very delusional man who, for whatever reason, thinks that Spider-Man is just up to no good when, and quite frankly, it's the opposite. And also, J. Jonah Jameson knows, because in the comics, he has a conversation with himself, and he's like, I don't understand what people see in Spider-Man. I wish I could be and have an influence like Spider-Man does. He says that to himself in the comics. So that lets you know right there that not only is J. Jonah Jameson a hater of Spider-Man, but he's also jealous of Spider-Man. Because despite him having the Daily Bugle, he's not really what you call having a big effect on the city of New York, as you would say Spider-Man is. And he hasn't only just gone after Spider-Man, he's gone after Daredevil, he's gone after other heroes too, but Spider-Man just seems to be his prime target. Do you know Black Nerd Comedy? Yes, I do. I've followed him for years. I would love to talk with Andre, Black Nerd. I think he does really great content and stuff, and we talk a lot of the similar things as well, so it'd be great to have a conversation with him one day. What's up, Bagley? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We might see Captain America vs. Green Goblin. Yeah, we might. Because again, in the second episode, we saw a portrait of Captain America with Norman. And also, I meant to post this. I gotta take a screenshot. But there's actually another picture beside that picture of Captain America. There's a picture of T'Chaka. Now he's in African clothing, but you can tell that's him. Like it's a very blink and you'll miss it shot. But like I said, I'll see if I can post it tonight. But you can actually see that other painting. So who knows? Maybe we might get Black Panther in this show. I think that would be dope to have like a Black Panther episode with Spidey. Because right now there's a whole thing with Miles. You know, in the comics, if you guys are following the comics with Miles and T'Challa, so that would be cool to kind of see maybe something like that, them interacting or going on a mission or something. Because I think this Peter Parker, he might be really interested in T'Challa and what he's able to bring and stuff. Let's not forget Flash becomes Agent Venom. That is true. He does become Agent Venom. Peter might go as far as to punching Osborn, but not knocking him out. Yeah, yeah. Because I think there's still going to be some restraint with this Peter Parker as far as like how far he's willing to go. I don't think they're going to go dark. I mean, they could, well, then again, people said that with X-Men 97, that X-Men 97 wasn't going to go dark, and we saw how that was. There was some really dark moments in X-Men 97, so who knows? Maybe they could go there over time. So we'll have to see. Yeah, Batman Beyond is a great show. Mark Hamill, yeah, I think Mark Hamill he'll play the Joker again maybe someday. Or the big guy with the beard became an animal-based character called Gorilla. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think he could be Tombstone, the guy with the beard. The story in John Romita's senior era is called Crisis on Campus. Yes, that's it. That's the one I'm talking about. Because you get the iconic cover with Spider-Man swinging, and you see all the people protesting on campus. That's the story. I would love to see that story adapted. Because to me, that's not a story that really gets too much attention, but everybody knows that cover. They know that cover of Spider-Man swinging and seeing all the people with the picket signs. Flash Thompson was Agent Venom in Ultimate Spider-Man. He was. What's up, Kaden? Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here, man. We're talking Spider-Man. It's a really great stream. You guys are giving a lot of awesome input and what you guys liked about the episode and scenes and stuff. Do you guys have like any more scenes or maybe little Easter eggs that you caught that maybe, none of us in the chat caught? Because I would love to hear them. What's up, Last of Us fan? Welcome back, Alex. The show has some creative moments when it comes to visuals, with my personal favorite so far being the POV web shot. Do you have a personal favorite thus far? I think my personal favorite, to me, what really stood out to me, just from, like I said, from the jump, as far as visually, to me, would have to be, like, probably to your point, like the web slinging. Like, just him swinging around the city. Like, seeing all the different points of views and shots that they were doing when he was swinging. Like, there's a side shot. Sometimes there's a shot of him flipping upside down off of the building, and we kind of lean in like him, like we're leaning in with him and seeing him go up into the air and stuff like that. And just the visuals that they do with the swinging scenes, and even with when he's fighting. Like, you see him, like I said, he's doing backflips off of walls, and he's, webbing a ladder. And now, what's funny? Spider-Man's not a streamer. People thought that Spider-Man was a streamer in the show. He's not a streamer. He's working at Oscorp. So we were all wrong about that. I thought he was going to be a streamer. Maybe that's like a side hustle he does while also working at Oscorp. But no, he's fully invested in Oscorp and obviously his Spidey duties as well. So that was kind of like shut down very quickly. Brand New Day is the comic cover in the second issue, in the second episode. Yeah, that's right. Brand New Day. That's the one. That's the one. Because I remember seeing that cover when I was little, when that comic came out. So I was like, I remember that comic, but I just didn't remember the name of it. How's your day been, bro? My day's been solid. It's been good. It's been really good. Like I said, I had to do some things today, work on some content. Rewatched Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for like the fifth or sixth time. Just kind of scoping out some things, what I could see and things like that. I'm really thinking about doing an Easter egg breakdown video. I've never done one before, but I might just do one for the show because I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, shout out to Stan Lee. You know, that's one of the things I thought about yesterday. I would have loved to have seen Stan Lee, like his just reaction to the show. Like I would have loved to have known what he would have thought about this show. Cause to me, I feel like he would have really like enjoyed the show. He would have really like liked the show. So it's just again like it's just one of those what if moments. Like man, like what if, you know? But I think Stanley, I think Steve Ditko, I think John Romita Sr. I think they would have enjoyed the show and just the references and the influences. They would have probably been very proud to know that their comic runs, you know, was like a big influence to the whole art, direction and character direction and certain aspects. How's all these characters? Well, like a lot of these characters are characters that are based from other comics. Like I said, like you have your Amadeus Cho. He has his own comics. He was also in Agents of Atlas. Jean Foucault, who is Finesse. Uh, Asha, she's been in I think a Wakandan comic. So her abilities are really interesting too. A lot of these characters are characters that have been, introduced either fairly recently or have had some time. Like Nika Monero, she was in the Runaways. The Runaways was a comic that came out, I think, the early 2000s. But like I said, they're just now bringing her back, which I don't know if you guys heard, but uh, they actually planned on having Jessica Jones in the place of Nika Monero. So Jessica Jones was actually going to be the character besides her. So kind of interesting that they would have her, which would make sense because her and Peter do have, they have had some interactions in the comics. So um, I think that kind of adds to more of that Spider-Man lore and kind of just characters that he's interacted with before. But I think Nico works better in my honest opinion. I think they made the right choice. Jessica Jones could show up. I mean, we got Daredevil in here, so she could show up. I don't know if she'll show up in high school with these characters. I don't think they will, but maybe she could be doing something else. I loved it. I told you there on Twitter, but the truth is, I thought it was an excellent start. Shout out to the pizzeria scene. Pure spider. Yes, Spider-Man at his purest. I love that scene so much and what they were able to do with just the message that they brought with that too. Like I said, I see that scene getting shared a lot online. It's just a really good scene, and it just embodies everything that Spider-Man is and why he is this very beloved character. Why a lot of people relate to him. Leaving early, dude. All good, Carter. All good, man. I'm glad that you came in through the stream. If I'm still streaming, I guess, uh, you know, proceed to come back. But if not, I'll see you in the next stream, probably next week. Obviously next week for talking about the 3 episodes, because we're getting 3 episodes next week, which is pretty exciting. I like the new schedule. I like that Marvel is testing around with new schedules and different schedules and stuff like that. So it just adds more to a different dynamic. Every show isn't going to follow off of a one episode per week thing. Like certain shows are going to have 2 episodes, 3 episodes a week. And I like that format personally. Yeah, the spider that bit Peter really gave him these attributes enhancing his bio better than a super soldier serum. And I think the future they might use his blood to make super serum. That's a possibility. That would, you know what? That would be a very twisted. That would be a very twisted thing there, especially with like I said, them showing Captain America with Norman Osborn, maybe him trying to extract Peter's powers. I don't know if they'll go that route, but I could definitely see him having a motive like that. All right, man. All right, not. Thank you for showing up in the stream and stuff. I appreciate you guys. It's been great, and I hope you guys come back next week because we're definitely gonna be talking more about the show next week. Yeah, I think that's all the comments. Wow, I got through the comments, but you guys are definitely giving me a lot of things to think about and some theories. And like I said, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I knew I was gonna enjoy the show. I was so excited to just finally see it, you know, in broad view. Because I mean, seeing the trailers is cool. I love seeing the trailers. I love seeing the concept art. I love seeing the posters. But seeing the show in action is just a different feeling. So yeah, yeah. This sir, yes sir. This has been a cool discussion. It has. Every discussion we have has just been really cool, and I love the dynamic I have with you guys and we have with each other and stuff. So yeah, but I'm not gonna end the stream right now. I'm not gonna end it. I'll probably end it maybe an hour 40. An hour 40. That is if you guys maybe want me to stay on longer. If you want me to stay on longer, I can. But we'll try to end it about an hour 40 because I think that might be a good time. I don't want to make it too long. We almost had like a 4 hour stream last stream, and like I said, I really appreciate you guys, tuning up to that stream too. I really enjoyed that, and the growth and the support and everything has just been impeccable. It's just been unbelievable. I've been speechless. I really have. I've been speechless that you guys have just been really just commenting and stuff on the channel. And like I said, every day, every year, I want to just continue bringing my best. I want to keep branching out to new things and bolder things. And like I said, there's a plan in place. I know what I want to do. Like I said, but we're gonna continue the discussion. I don't want to get too far into that. I'll get into that in the end. But if you guys have any more like little Easter eggs or little tidbits that you guys noticed or theories that you guys may have about the next episodes, what do you think we're gonna see in the next episodes? What would you guys like to see in the next episodes? We can dive into that. Because me personally, I would love to see them dive into more of like Peter and just his adventures. Well, not adventures, but just him kind of like preventing certain crimes from happening. Because we know we're gonna see Speed Demon, we're gonna see Unicorn, we're gonna see all those villains turn up. A fight with the good and bad side. Okay, yeah, like a good versus evil within himself. I could definitely see that happening maybe at some point. Maybe that's what Hero or Menace, maybe that's alluding to that. Maybe Peter kind of having that moment to himself. Am I a hero or am I a villain? So maybe he fights that kind of angry side of himself. But I think they're going to save that for a symbiote arc if they do decide to do a symbiote arc. I think that would be a better option to do a storyline like that. But I really like this Peter Parker. I really like this interpretation. Like I definitely would hang out with this Peter Parker in high school. I really would. Like I feel like he just would have some of the best jokes and quips and stuff that would just make you like very much levitate to him, as a friend. You want to be friends with him, but you look like Miles Morales. I get that a lot. I get that a lot from people. And like I said, that would be a dream to play Miles in either a show or a live action movie, anything that I could play Miles Morales in, I would love to. Because, like I said, I love that character. I love the history of that character. I love what he stands for. And, I get hyped every time I see Miles. Like I said, rather it's in the Spider-Verse movies, the game, the games, TV shows, anything, even in the comics, just reading the comic runs of Miles, too. Like, I just I would be so dedicated and so indebted to that character that I would just it would just make my entire life just to play that character. Like I said, it doesn't have to be just in live action. If I even voice the character in an animated thing, if they wanted to get me to maybe have like a cameo appearance in Beyond the Spider Verse as like an older Spider-Man, like Miles. I would love to do that. Just even if it's a short 4-second thing, right? I would love to do that because, I'm so invested into the character. But honestly, I would love to play the role for as long as I can. I really would. So, you know, one day, your boy trying to get to Hollywood. He's trying to get there. He's trying to do some acting and voice acting. So only time will tell. That's all I tell people. Only time will tell. This journey is gonna go a lot of places that I don't think I anticipated. I don't think any of you guys anticipate. And like I said, the thing that I teased earlier, like I said, just stay tuned on the channel. If you guys want more Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man content, more content is on the way. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm not gonna say who it is. But when the time happens, you guys will know. I'll let you guys know firsthand. But yeah, you guys got any more theories or anything like that? I'm just, I'm happy with the show. I really am. I'm just happy. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with the reception. Obviously, you're still gonna have a ton of people. You're gonna have the grifters who are like, the show is woke and all this other stuff. You're gonna have that. This is nothing new. This is nothing new to anything in this world. You're gonna have good, you're gonna have bad, you're gonna have people who like it, you're gonna have people who absolutely hate it. But just knowing that you were able to give this show a chance to me just adds more. And like I said, I gave the show a chance. I didn't knock it down. I didn't, do it like a lot of people did, made 24-minute videos talking about how much they hate this show because of a trailer and all this other stuff, because these same people are probably going to be making videos right now talking about how they actually like the show, how they actually were rooting for the show the entire time, which they were not, because we have the receipts of them saying that they hated the show before a trailer, before even watching one episode. So, you know, whatever they want to do, that's what they do on their own channels. I don't really care, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna do me at the end of the day. But yeah, because Spider-Man got blinded and taught Batman was Green Goblin, so that would be a Marvel and DC collab. Well, Spider-Man has collabed with the DC hero before. He collabed with Superman. It was a long time ago, but there is a Spider-Man versus Superman comic, and he teams up with Superman because Doc Ock and Lex Luthor end up meeting up in jail. and they end up breaking out of jail. And I'll go as far as that. I don't want to go too far into it, but if you want to check out that comic, I think it's an interesting crossover. I think it's a really interesting crossover. And who knows, maybe Marvel and DC can kind of get on that page where maybe they could do some comic collabs with each other. I think Daredevil and you know uh Daredevil and Green Arrow. I think that would be a cool collab. Like, can you imagine that Daredevil and Green Arrow? Like that would be dope. Blue Marvel and John Stewart. Imagine that. Blue Marvel and John Stewart working together. Dope. Batman and Moon Knight. Dope. Like they could do those crossovers if they want, in DC Comics. They don't have to do it in any films or anything like that. They could just do it in the comics if they want. It's DC Elseworlds, so they could do it. It's up to Marvel and DC if they want to do that in the future. I'm not looking. I mean, it could happen, but I'm not really itching for it. I like that they're separate right now. They can collide whenever they feel the need to, but right now I think they just need to focus on their own respective things right now. Wolverine or X Men are already a collab on Disney. It's a show. Yeah, yeah. Wolverine X Men. You said X Men. X Men Teen Titans. They collabed. That's a interesting comic as well. If you want to check that one out. I never thought that Teen Titans and X Men would collab the way they did, but they did. So again, they done collabs with Marvel and DC before. So it's really not a new concept. It's just not really been done ever since. Daredevil and TMNT. Come on now. Daredevil and TMNT, I mean, that's a match made in heaven. Spawn and Blade. I would love that. Spawn and Blade? Come on. Imagine that. Imagine that team up. um, X-Men is Marvel. Yes, it is. Yeah, like Hanna and Warner Brothers. Yeah, yeah. But I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? How do you guys feel about the characters like Amadeus Cho, Asha, and Gene Fulcott? How do you guys feel about those characters? Did you guys think those characters may have a bigger role in the future? Do you think they're small, minor characters? Now, something else I do want to bring up to mention about that in the series. I thought it was funny that when they were sitting down in the lobby, they were watching TV, and you could actually see Crusher Hogan. You could actually see Crusher Hogan on TV, which Crusher Hogan actually shows up in two things. Crusher Hogan is actually in the intro. You can see Peter in like his little wrestling outfit that he's in. He's ducking from Crusher Hogan. But then you also see Crusher Hogan on the cover of the prequel comic, which if you guys have read the prequel comic, you see how he gets into a wrestling ring with Crusher Hogan. So I like that the show, again, just down to the prequel comic, just ties in so much more context to why we see certain references. He's probably named at. No, actually, he actually wasn't named after Hulk Hogan. Crusher Hogan had been around before Hulk Hogan was even a thing. So Crusher Hogan was his own like original character. He wasn't. I'm sure he was probably inspired by wrestlers back then, but his name wasn't inspired by a wrestler. Um, But I could definitely see maybe Hulk Hogan, though I don't like Hulk Hogan. Um, I could see where maybe Hulk Hogan might have gotten some influence from that. But I think again, like Crusher Hogan was his own character before a wrestler came along. But like on the TV, there's like even more art from different things. So again, there was like a romance. There was like a romance show going on, which to me felt like a reference to the early days of Marvel, because Marvel did a lot of those romance comics and stuff. Like Steve Ditko, he drew for a lot of the romance comics. John Romita, he drew a lot for the romance comics and stuff. So that was like a big part of DC. Not just, DC also did it too. DC also did a lot of romance comics back in the day too. But that was a big thing for Stan Lee, and they did like some Western comics and obviously Amazing Fantasy, which is another Easter egg. Peter is actually reading an Amazing Fantasy comic. Like when he wakes up, you actually see like the actual comic cover of the Amazing Fantasy, and it's like a giant foot. So again, so many different references to not just Spider-Man related stuff, but also Marvel related stuff too. That maybe a lot of people might have known, maybe may not have known. But I've read some of the amazing adult fantasy stories, and they're very interesting concepts. And I see a lot of what they did with those comics kind of bring influence into some of the Marvel characters that they ended up introducing in later, uh, around later times when Spider-Man came out. So when I see a lot of those comics, to me, like I said, just it ties everything back together. Peter's also reading a book, too, that's very popular. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember seeing the book, and I know that's like a real life book. So yeah. What about Tommy Smith? What about Tommy Smith? Alex. Angela, what's up? Do you like Juice World? I've listened to some of Juice World's music before. Rest in peace to Juice World. Very talented artist. I feel like he was gone, before his time. He was gone when I feel like he definitely should have lived a lot longer because he had a lot more going for him. And it's unfortunate what happened to him. Um, what happened in his situation. You were at one of his concerts. What was it like going to one of his concerts? I don't like his music. And that's fair. Like I said, music is subjective, just like everything in entertainment. Um, you like Vanilla Ice. That's cool. Like I said, some people like Vanilla Ice and some people don't. Personally, I could do without Vanilla Ice. Like I said, but like I said, if he's your favorite artist, that's cool. Like I said, all subjective. I loved it. I got to meet him. Oh, that's awesome. What did you say to him? I know that that had to be like a very nervous thing for you to meet him. Solomon, you said, who knows? Maybe somehow Norman gets a hold of Captain America's blood to make the G serum, making it the best serum and make Norman perform at his best and reach his full potential. That's an interesting theory. I like that theory. Like I said, there's so many different like elements to this whole ordeal in the universe that they could go about twisting what we know about Norman, what we know about Spider-Man and Norman, and doing it in a completely different way that we didn't expect. Can you sign my hat? And he did. Oh, that's awesome. I know you look at that hat every single day. That's going to be a moment that you'll always remember. The fact that Juice World he took time out of his day to sign your hat. Like, I know that's something that will resonate with you. Norma Osborn, Alex. Don King's grandson. Oh, okay. We got jokes now, huh? We got jokes. Okay. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Have you signed anybody's hat? I have not. Maybe one day I will. If I bump into one of you guys and you want me to sign your hat, I'd be down. Um, I do want to, like I said, I do plan on trying to go to different events and stuff in the near future, like a Comic Con or a Dream Con or something like that. A Twitch. Well, I can't go to TwitchCon because I'm not a Twitch creator. I don't think YouTube has a YouTube Con. I don't think that exists. I know PAX exists, but I don't know if I'll ever go to PAX. I do look at it every day. Yeah, I know that hat has like a special place in your heart. To me, that reminds me of the time where I went to a baseball game when I was younger, and the guy who hit the baseball, I was able to catch the baseball. I still have that baseball. I'll have to find it. It's in my stuff, but I still have that baseball, and to this day, I look at that a baseball and I say, like, I remember when I was in fourth grade, and we took a field trip to a baseball game, and I caught that one baseball. So that kind of brings back memories to that day. Have you gone to a Comic Con? I have not gone to a Comic Con. I've been to kind of like a small Comic Con, but I've never really been to one of the big Comic Cons, if that makes sense. No suit, no gadgets, just fighting Captain America versus Spider-Man. Who you got? I'm gonna go with Spider-Man with just a little bit of an edge. I think Spider-Man's quirkiness in himself, I think could help get him out of, I think, the grasp of Captain America. I have a ton of old 1920s, 50s autographs and animation autographs. Really? You should definitely check. You should definitely like send them my way. I would love to see them. I love seeing like old autographs and artifacts and stuff from the past. Can you come to Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin? I mean, I would love to. I would love to like I said, go to different locations and stuff and meet you guys. So if there's ever like maybe a Comic Con or something that you guys want me to go to, I could try to plan that, at some point and try to go there. Because like I said, I would love to meet you guys. I would love to, chat with you guys and stuff. And I think that would be great. So who knows? Is VidCon a YouTube convention? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. You know what? Let me look it up right now. Is VidCon a YouTube convention? So we're gonna look it up right now. I've heard of VidCon. I've heard people going to VidCon, but I haven't really done too much research on it. Let's see, convention. VidCon was founded by veteran YouTube creators, so I guess it is. When is VidCon happening this year? Does it say when it's happening? Oh, it happens this year, June 19th through the 21st at Anaheim Convention Center. Hmm, should I go to VidCon? What do you guys think? Should I go to VidCon? And if I do, would you guys go to VidCon? Not saying that it's a like 100% given, but just curious. Bro, Frank Welker is an animation legend. He is. Inspector Gadget. Yeah. Yeah, Queso won streamer. He won the streamer thing last year. He won that, and he also won for game streamer of the year at the Game Awards too. Because me and my buddies, we watched that live. So yeah, shout out to Queso. He's been doing the thing over there. He's been really working and stuff. So it's great to see him, you know, even get his shine and stuff. I'd get an autograph from you if you came to VidCon. Okay, so I'll mark that down on my list of places that I'll potentially go to. Like I said, it's not a 100% this year if I'm going to VidCon, but if I do go to VidCon in the future, I'll definitely keep that into consideration for sure. Oh snap, my phone's already on 32%. It's wild. I'm probably gonna end the stream in just a little bit because I don't want my phone to die. I'm gonna plug it in and try to keep it on as much as I can, but I don't want my phone to die, so I don't want to be on too long. Frank Welker and Bob Singer too. I believe it was Bob Singer's birthday yesterday. He turned 96. He designed the original Scooby Doo. Oh, that's awesome! I didn't even know that was his birthday. Well, happy birthday to him. Also, shout out to him for making such a dope design. Even after all these years, people know who Scooby Doo is. Takamoto also did the artwork too. Yeah, you guys are teaching me a little bit of things that I didn't even know about Scooby Doo and stuff. Scooby Doo is definitely a show that I definitely thought about doing videos on, but I just haven't yet. But maybe that's something I'll do in the future if you guys want that. But yeah, if you guys have any more, I have a quick draw autograph. Takamoto. He died around that time I was born. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Quick Draw Madraw is definitely a character that I feel like he definitely needs to come back. I feel like there's a lot of things you could do with him. There's just really like all the Hanna-Barbera characters. In a way, kind of the way this show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, in a way is designed, it kind of feels like a Hanna-Barbera show. Just kind of if you look at the concept art. Like even down to like the eyes. The eyes feel like a early 90s uh Daria type character designs with just the different models and stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any more thoughts or theories or questions on your Philly neighborhood Spider-Man or something else, definitely let me know. Um, yeah, Will Hanna and Joseph Barbera, two great goats, man, legends. Shout out to them. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream because, like I said, I don't want to make it too long. Did you meet? No, I didn't meet them. They passed away before I could meet them, unfortunately. Would have loved to have met them though. I would have loved to have met Hanna Barbera. I think that would have been really cool to have a conversation with them too. There's a lot of people, alive and passed away that I would love or would have loved to have had conversations with. Um, so yeah, legends. I heard many great and funny stories from Joe Barbera, especially. I bet they had a lot of funny stories, especially when it came to just different characters. I'm sure with different voice actors and stuff. The way they were probably marking out over the characters and certain delivery of lines and stuff. I'm sure they had like a great time going over that, and just even the development of drawing and stuff. I'm sure. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. It's been great talking with you guys. We talked to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I'm glad you guys gave the show a chance and you guys were just excited and hyped. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed the first two episodes. I really am. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the first two episodes. I enjoyed the first two episodes. I'm definitely looking forward to what they're gonna do in the next three episodes that release next week. I'm gonna be doing another live, so don't worry. I'm gonna be doing another live where we sit down and we talk about the the three episodes that drop next week. I'm hyped. I'm gonna watch the show again, and yeah. And like I said, if you guys maybe on the replay, maybe you guys have a question or a theory that you guys would want me to know about or would love to kind of hear my input and thoughts on, definitely comment them because I would love to hear them. Like I said, you guys feedback on the ending credits music about the 1981 Spider-Man thing. I didn't even pick up on that until I went back and listened to the 1981 Spider-Man theme, and I was like, yeah, I definitely hear that. There were even some people in the comments who were like, is this like My Hero Academia? Which I haven't even seen that before, but I guess kind of the vibe of the music and stuff kind of reminded them of that. So I love hearing the just different stuff comments you guys have. Yeah, it's a, anime. I you guys know I'm not really too familiar into anime as a whole, but I know My Hero Academia because my sister she watches it, and I have a lot of other friends that watch it too. So, in that front, I know just a little bit. Hey man, it's been an amazing time again. Thank you. Absolutely love these streams. They were fun and introspectively great. Man, I'm staying tuned. I can't wait for the next one. Yeah, I can't wait for the next one too. I love these streams. I love doing these streams. I love being able to just talk with you guys. It's just amazing. It's one of the most exciting parts of my week in general. And like I said, if I could do streaming full time, like Kai Sinad and I'm Dante and all of them. If I could do it full time like they do, I would. I would love to just sit down for hours and maybe we watch different cartoons and different movies and stuff like that together. I would love to. So like I said, when we get to that level, because I know we'll get to that level, but when we get there, we'll get there and we'll do more of that kind of stuff. I see it possible too. Like I said, I see it possible of us hitting 10K by the end of the year. I really do see it possible. You guys have been going crazy just off the content alone in the past couple of days. So I definitely see it being a possibility. I've thought about maybe if we made a podcast for sure. I would love to do a podcast. That's definitely on the roadmap of something that I want to do in the future. So I do want to make that happen. Also thought about maybe taking my videos and maybe having them as podcast on Spotify. If maybe you guys just want to listen to me talk, maybe I could do like a spot put them on, my videos, take the audio and make them into a little podcast if you guys want that. Maybe I could do that. Go to Kai Sinat's house and stream with them like The Rock and Kevin Hart did. If Kai Sinat ever wanted me to come on to his streams and stuff, I would be down. I would love to collab with him. I think he's an amazing creator. I love seeing him get the fruits of his labor. You guys know he showed up on Raw this week. Seeing him get that interest in WWE, I love that for him. I love seeing him have those moments and all, you know, all the sponsors and stuff that he's getting and the opportunities. I Anyone that wants to do good and is doing good for their lives, I am in full support of. So would love to collab with Kaisen at sometime in the future. RDC would love to collab with those guys over there. They're hilarious. I've been following them. There's so many people that I just would love to collab with at some point in my YouTube journey. Like I would love to. So yeah, but like I said, we're in 2 hours. I don't want to make it too long. So again, I appreciate you guys coming through, talking your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, always being supportive of the content. And if you haven't, subscribe, like, got some great things coming your way, some great things coming on the channel. And like I said, you do not want to miss. You do not want to miss what's coming. You want to be on. You want to have your ticket and aboard the train, as they say. So yeah, thank you all so much. You guys have been amazing. And if you guys are doing something, you want to do something in life, and you just need a little bit of that leap of faith, I'm here to let you know. If you want to do something, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Uh, be amazing. Be great people. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. And yeah, as I always say, big love to you all, and peace out.